5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Is someone in here with me? You're not going to shut the door on me, are you?
A male voice just said, "You better."
Who's in here?
Okay.
We're doing this one. You want to quit?
We are at the historic Graestone Manor Bed and Breakfast in Gasport, New York. Alright, before I let you play with the pendulum, can you spin this cup one more time for me? Almost there!
Horses here. What was the name of some of the horses?
I heard a male voice go, "Hoo, hoo, hoo."
That's Andrew in the bed. Can you tell him his name?
Male voice just came through and said either Andrew or and you.
A lot of you said to go to the cemetery together. I am all for it. These two are a little iffy because there's a possible Wendigo running in the woods out there. Best case scenario, it's a mountain lion. Hey everyone, thank you for checking out this part of the Graestone Manor Investigation. In this episode, I'll show you all of the footage from when we were on the first floor in the front room and the little side room there. A lot of cool footage here, so I'm excited for you to see it. You'll be able to see more of the areas where Megan was taking the pictures of, is where we'll be at. Big thank you to our sponsors, Tammy McIntyre and Steve and Debbie Huzar. If you're interested in sponsoring a future episode of Who's Ghost Stories, whether it's a travel episode or a normal episode, definitely send me a message or email and we can talk about it and get you listed as one of our sponsors and producers. You can use the links below in the description to check out the link tree. That'll take you to all of my social media, you to the Etsy store, and it'll also take you to Ghost Shop, where you can buy ghost hunting equipment like the spirit box we use in these very episodes, actually. In an episode, I'm going to play the audio we got off of it, so stay tuned for that. But that's enough for right now. Enjoy part 2 of the Graestone Manor. So in the last video, I showed off the pictures that we got from the Graestone Manor, and I didn't show all the pictures. I found a few more, but I'll sprinkle those in whenever I get to those areas of the manor to talk about them. So as we pull up, we see the Graestone Manor, and it's an incredible building. The property itself is also incredible and very well kept, with a fire pit in the back, cemeteries in the back, lots of wooded property all around, beautiful secluded area. But as soon as we pulled up to the manor, I immediately was just like, oh yeah, this place is haunted. 100%. That's the vibe it gave, the energy it gave, the age and look of it, all just gave off the vibes of this place is 100% haunted. And interesting, when we were pulling into our parking spot, Megan popped her car into reverse, and in the backup camera, you could see the steam coming from the tailpipe mixing with the cold air, and I saw a face in the steam looking back at us through the camera. Obviously, there was no way to take a picture or record that, but it was an awesome way to start this off, and just looking at the manor and just feeling the energy outside, I was so excited to get inside and get investigating. Our night started off with us getting a tour of the manor and the grounds, and then after that, we were able to dive right into our investigation. Who's in front of me? Setting off EMF. Thank you. No, it wasn't you that time. That one was definitely not me.
You can't understand.
What can't I understand?
Did it say you can't understand it?
It did say you can't understand after I said that wasn't you.
If there's somebody here with us, make one of these things go off again. You can play with this cool light on the table.
As Andrew said, if you need energy, there are crystals.
You don't understand.
I'll explain to you here in a second.
I'm still wondering what I don't understand. That?
See, you can come over and touch this.
I just want phones.
Peter.
I'm entranced by the light bulb.
In front of you. Disrespectful.
What's disrespectful? Not trying to be disrespectful.
Who's in front of me?
So we set up my old camera as kind of like a static camera wherever we were at. So this is the angle that this camera had. And I know the picture quality is a little wonky, but that's because it's an older camera, but it still gets the job done. I'm going to splice in different clips at different times from this camera because it definitely picked up some interesting things. Especially here as we were just beginning and Megan was snapping pictures. In the last video, I showed you pictures of the orbs that we captured in the front room, from the curtain and the fireplace, the shadow thing behind my head, pretty much the orbs all over this room. And you'll see more throughout the videos here, but on this camera specifically, there's a couple orbs or mists or like light anomalies or phenomena that got captured on the camera that are just a little interesting. And I'm not exactly sure what to frame them as or call them, but I'll go ahead and play the footage and then I'll put a still image of the phenomena up and talk about it for a little bit. Here enough. We have pendulums, tarot cards, divine rods. You gotta pick one though. So first there's this. What's interesting here is everything in the picture makes sense except for this light spot that's circled and pointed out. You know, the shadow behind the horse looks good, the chair being lit up, everything being lit up looks good, but this spot here is just extra bright. And I was able to rule out some sort of reflection from the camera light here because in other times when the flash goes off, this little blur slash mist slash light anomaly here isn't here. And in fact, in the next still, you'll see that it's actually moved a bit, which is really cool. But right here, it's just interesting. This type of blur doesn't pop up anywhere else in this instance here, and other flashes around these lights don't appear like this. Do you want me to use a pendulum? there someone near the fireplace? Get the over there. And then we have the bigger blur here. Now I'll outline it in just a moment, but I wanted to show you the drastic change in almost like fogginess here. So in the middle is this circular or oval shaped mist or fog or blur or some sort of light anomaly here, where it's just drastically different in the middle of the room than it is along the sides. And what's cool is here's where I kind of talked about how you can see by the camera lights that skinnier mist or blur is gone, and it's just in the middle now. And it's also bigger. So it's really cool that just seconds after that last flash went off, this one went off, and there's still some sort of blur or phenomena happening here, but it's bigger and it's moved to a different part of the room. You guys didn't want me to use the new stuff, but you're being very quiet when it comes to picking one of these things. You want to hand me the bronze? We have 3 different pendulums. We have this guy. That guy.
Lady of the night.
Who's the lady of the night?
It is nighttime and Megan is a lady.
That's not what they mean, and you know it.
No, but technicality. Can you guys move? And then in this flash, both blurs or mists, the phenomena are gone. The middle of the room looks just as clear as both sides of the picture. The couch over here next to my camera lights is brighter, but that's because Megan was closer to there. But even the mist around the camera lights is gone. Everything's just clearer, and there's no more phenomena here. So I really wanted to point out this flash because it just shows both of the previous phenomena are gone. So I don't know if they were orbs necessarily because they didn't really pop out, but it's some sort of weird fog or mist phenomena that popped up during those 2 flashes that I think are really cool. And I'm really happy that we captured those because I was worried nothing would pop up on the static cam. And we left it here while we were downstairs the entire time. So it was just constantly rolling facing in this direction, and something else pops up on it later, but we'll get to that when we do. Other than this camera, we had our SLS camera set up, we had our voice boxes set up, and of course I had my camera rolling as Megan was taking pictures. Being genuine.
What are you sorry about?
Someone bumped into me as I walked past the door. Here, in case we can get out here.
No.
No, we're not going to use that out here? That's fine. We don't have to use that out here.
Maybe they want old school out here.
Alright, so I got SLS running on this camera.
So we set up our SLS camera down here with us, and I kept it kind of pointing at Megan, and then I switched it over towards Alex. It caught some interesting things throughout our time down here that we'll get to, but I wanted to show some clips of it so you can see how it's mapping. Like right now, it's just focused just on Megan. It's not picking up anything else like the rug, the table, the couch. It's just fixated right on her. And I want you to keep in mind how it maps, how it typically maps. You know, I walk into frame here and it starts mapping me. And just keep in mind how it's mapping us, and I'll show a few more clips here with how it does map us. Because when looking at SLS footage, especially when we're in the footage, it's important to keep in mind what like the base results are or the control results where it's mapping a person, so you can see how it's different later.
That bucket of crystals is for you guys to draw your energy off of. Is there anyone in here? So guys, what we do have out here, I'll just go over it quickly like I said. Thank you. Bowl of crystals for you to draw on. This little guy here, you see how he's interacting with the light bulb? If you come near, you'll turn the light bulb off and back on. You can play with that.
So you can see how it typically maps us. In these few clips, nothing out of the ordinary happened, nothing really supernatural or paranormal, which is perfectly fine. I just wanted to make sure that you could see the baseline for how it typically maps, how it jumps on one person, stays there. It'll map their body pretty well depending on their movements. Sometimes it gets a little spastic, but overall it's pretty accurate. Throughout this video here, you'll see multiple angles of the same time frames, so don't be shocked to see different footage from the same things.
Did you want me to come to this doorway? What is it?
Purple thing again.
Is the same spirit playing with the pendulum the one talking through the two boxes? No? Okay. Thank you. Alright. Do you want me to stay here? Do you want me to move somewhere else?
So right after that camera flash, this blink and you miss it orb or light anomaly, whatever it is, big flash, flies across the screen really fast. Didn't notice at the time at all, and with the speed that's moving at, that's understandable, but it's really cool to see this just super quick flash by or just pop out of nowhere.
Could you move it again?
Alexis.
Is your name Alexis? Can you show me where you want me to move?
Closet.
Closet. Back to that room. The coat closet. Okay. Can whoever moved the rod in my right hand move again?
Alexis.
Where's Alexis? Alexis, can you move the rod in my right hand? There are two rods. You're right. The one that's in my right hand.
Big.
that's moving right now. Yeah.
From others that use the same SLS app we do, we've been told that false positives, it'll map a subject, like a tree or a bush, but it'll stay mapped on there. I believe this is mapping some sort of spirit because it doesn't stay mapped permanently on this little shrubbery here. The size and form keeps changing, and this is also where I was just interacting with the spirit with the pendulum. So I think it's mapping something or trying to map something, but because of the bush as well and the spirit moving so much, I don't know like how big or tall it is, but I believe it's a child that I was dealing with here.
Just to set up. Del, do you want to set up this SLS camera wherever you feel that's going to point towards Alex? What is it all the way supposed to point?
So this one's hard to articulate for anyone that wasn't there, but spirits were messing with us all night in various ways. This quick just flicker could definitely be the SLS trying to map on the tripod and Alex, but knowing how spirits were interacting with us in good ways and also just messing with us to be funny and interesting depending on the spirits, this also could be a spirit focusing in on the camera. And the reason I say that is because something similar happens again later in the night.
Towards me? Alright, so.
Someone bumped into me and then tapped me on the shoulder. When you guys say something out there? Alright, I'm gonna come back out.
Who are you?
Here. So guys, what we do have out here, I'll just go over it quickly like I said. Bless you. Thank you. Bowl of crystals for you to draw on. This little guy here, you see how he's interacting with the light bulb? If you come near, it'll turn the light bulb off and then back on. So you can play with that. Over here is one of our REM pods. You can play with that.
Revolting.
Revolting. Don't worry, we have some old stuff for you. And I'll turn off that REM pod since you didn't like that noise, obviously. See? And that guy's off. Now if there's any little kids here, we have this guy. If you come near, he plays music instead of that obnoxious noise. It's a different song than last time though. Alright, where are you caught?
Disgusting.
God, you don't like these at all. Alright.
They want the old school stuff.
Alright. You gotta help me though with picking what you want.
Who is she?
That's Megan. She's my wife. And my friend.
Watching you.
So, it's fair.
Pretty fitting for what I just got.
What'd you get? Yep. So, I can't see from the door.
It's literally a man looking in a window.
Fair enough. We have pendulums, tarot cards, divining rods. You gotta pick one though.
It's not a creepy picture.
Do you want me to use a pendulum? Is there someone near the fireplace? Take a picture over there. Let's slow this one down here so you can see this object kind of falling down and then slowing down even more before disappearing here. So zoomed in here on a still, I noticed this orb or anomaly in the middle of the video. In the night vision, it's a little hard to see and a little hard to tell. It could be a dust particle based on like the way it was traveling, but there's a few other instances of phenomena like this that occurs that makes me believe that this one is also an orb. But again, it's hard in the night vision to 100% authenticate, but I do believe that this one was an orb, especially with this being the point where Megan's taking a lot of her pictures that captured the orbs and everything else we were dealing with and experiencing in this front room with the pendulum, the rods, SLS, everything. I do believe that this was an orb of one of the spirits that was interacting with us and messing with us. I have the divining rods. If you wanna, can you move the pendulum you want me to use? Them you can use.
Huh.
What did it say?
Hug.
This is my Moldavite pendulum. Is this the one you want to use? Because we can play with this one. You can play with it. Now you said follow me. If you want me to follow you, use the pendulum to show me which way to go. You want me to go towards that rocking chair? We're going to do back and forth. For me is yes. Across is no.
Back off.
Back off. So which is it? Do you want me to go towards the rocking chair? Okay.
Line in. Bluetooth. Playback.
Alright. This is recording. So I'm just going to set that in the middle of the room. If any of them want to talk.
Teresa.
Teresa. Yeah, that's what it says, Teresa. So you brought me over to the chair. Do you still want to play with this pendulum? Same rules as before. Okay. Do you know my name? Can you say my name into one of our devices? Even if it's that recording device there.
Cable.
What is it?
Cable.
Cable? Whoa, key. Do you want me to go towards that doorway? I can do that. pointing it towards me.
Guide.
So at this point here, I decide to follow the pendulum and the spirit's hints and go into that side room with the TV to hang out for a little bit and see what interactions I get. You'll see that when I get in there, I actually feel drawn into the closet, which makes sense. In one SLS video you saw where I was standing next to the doorway, closet got brought up on the one spirit box. So between the pendulum and the obvious words coming through and just the feelings and pulls I was getting, I decide to go into the side room, go into the closet, and hang out with whatever spirits. And in there, I'm definitely hanging out with a child. The spirit of a child here. Megan's in the spare room, but she's not in the closet with me. She's just kind of hanging out, watching the camera, going back and forth between the rooms. So let's go ahead and head over to the side room now. Okay. Is this the room you wanted me in? Okay.
Said quickly.
Where do you want me to go now?
It's what we want.
What is it?
It's what we want.
Can you stop the pendulum?
Guess you know where you're going.
Do you want me to go into the closet? Alright, for the camera recording, the pendulum has directed me to go into the closet. Can you just make sure that I'm somehow in frame here? Can't even see anything in here. A lot of games.
Does this help for now?
Oh, that does. Oh good, there actually is a stool in here. Alright. There we go.
You're good.
Did you want me to come into the closet?
You're still here. Can you point it all the way at me?
You can talk to me. I hear whispering in my left ear. Someone's grabbing my left arm. You can keep playing with the pendulum.
Point towards me. I'm asking you to move it.
When you want me to leave the closet, just stop the pendulum.
I can move it.
Or when I'm ready to leave, I will. You can hold my hand if you want. My left hand feels very cold. Hold on.
That was impressive.
Is there someone touching me?
Warm to the touch.
Glass.
Glass.
Each other. And they point at me. Excuse me.
Is someone in here with me? You're not going to shut the door on me, are you? Well, thank you for at least not shutting the door on me.
Help you? How can I help you?
tarot cards.
Do you want me to leave him?
What?
Do you want me to leave? Ask them. Like me.
Do you want Megan to leave me alone in here? And said no.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Are you saying sorry for the one being that's been touching my neck?
Pendulum's going crazy. Holy shit. Can you bring me a flashlight? I found it. The pendulum went so crazy it actually opened the cage. And I flung my moldavite.
Got your moldavite?
Yeah, I got it in my hand. That's never happened before. Anything been happening to you out there, doll, besides being touched?
Just the back of my neck being touched.
Can we talk about blink and you'll miss it? So, at the start of this clip here, there's that lightning fast orb that just shoots across the closet. This clip in particular is slowed down to 15 or 25% speed. So even at this slowed down rate, that was moving faster than anything. So I definitely think that the orb earlier that moved in a blinking of an eye across the SLS screen was an orb, and I think this one is too, with the way it moved from side to side and just with the speed it did and the energy I was feeling in the closet and the spirit I was dealing with in the closet. This was definitely some sort of spirit. The orb just running past the camera real quick. I'd be willing to say it's another child spirit just because of what we've been dealing with so far, especially in the closet and this being like a little game room. And there's even one more orb here. We'll try to catch it in the slow-mo, but even it moves pretty fast and it's not here for long. It's up near the top of the screen, right there. Try something?
Heart attack.
Who had a heart attack? Did you have a heart attack? Okay. I'm gonna set something up and I'll be right back. While I was in the closet, Alex stayed out in the front room working with the divining rods. And he actually got some really cool responses and interactions with them. So let's go ahead and roll the SLS camera footage that was focused on him, and I'll throw up some graphics when you should definitely be paying attention to his rods.
Grandfather.
Who's grandfather? Alexis. Can you point the rod in my right hand towards me? Okay. Where do you want me to go now? You got the pendulum? Do you want me to go into the closet? Alexis, can you move the rod in my left hand? Pendulum has directed me to go the opposite one that you were moving? Can you just make sure that I'm somehow in frame here? If there's a spirit in this room with me, could you please move the rod in my left hand point towards me.
Move it.
I'm asking you to move it. I can move it. That was impressive.
Is there someone touching?
They're pointing at each other. Can they point at me? Excuse me.
Help me.
Help you? How can I help you? How can I help?
Do you want me to leave him? Do you want me to leave?
How can I help you? I'm so sorry.
Are you saying sorry for the one being that's been touching my neck?
How can I help you?
Just the back of my neck.
Heart attack.
Who had a heart attack? Did you have a heart attack? Is someone here in this room with me? If there is someone in this room with me, would they please? I am speaking. If there is someone in this room with me, can they please spin one of the rods in my hand? here with me?
Light.
Light? What about light? I hurt myself.
I'm coming to ask you and your ghost if we're allowed to have one of the rods.
Funny.
Funny.
Okay.
I think you can take the one.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Is he sure?
I don't know.
Andrew's playing with a kid in the closet.
That's fair. It's still one rod.
Thank you.
You can play with the pendulum again. What's going on out there? Is there a child in here with me? Yeah? Do you know where the ghost cat is? I just heard steps behind me. Do you want to take some pictures of back here?
Light. Ryan.
Ooh, there we go. We're gonna go crazy again. I hurt
This
myself.
battery's almost dead.
Yeah, we can plug it in if we need to. But I've got the black camera I bought you too. Go ask Alex and his ghost if we can have one of the rods. This is one of my favorite orbs we've ever caught. It's not on screen for very long, so we'll slow it down a few times here. But I love the way it comes down, changes trajectory to go back up, and then also changes size. I just think it's incredible. It's so much fun to watch, especially when I was in the closet dealing with the spirits, so I love that we captured this.
Thank you.
Don't want to lean too far in?
No.
So, this rod, you can spin it around you just like that. What time is it?
9:30.
Okay.
Why?
Maybe we'll move upstairs or downstairs here in a little bit.
Doing with the rod now. Can you try doing that?
There you go. You want to try something fun?
Ryan.
This person keeps saying Ryan.
How's it spelling it? A-N-O-N?
Can you try this?
A.N.
Try making it spin like I did.
2 times in a row it said it.
That's what I thought I heard it once while you were...
9:27 and 9:30.
Is your name Ryan? I heard that too. Sounds like somebody's walking up there.
I only hear the radiator.
I heard something upstairs. You're really spinning this really well. Can you take it the other way?
Children.
Children?
That tracks. That tracks.
They trying to tell you you need to go to the kids' room?
They did say follow me and they brought me into the game closet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you want me to go upstairs to the kids' room? Okay, that's where I'll go next.
Okay. Can you do this that I'm doing with the rod now? Can you try doing that?
Hey.
Hanged. Can you try this?
While I was finishing up in the closet, Alex was out here still with the other rod interacting with the spirits, and I think it's really cool that we were both getting interactions from spirits in 2 separate places at the same time. I know we were in close proximity, probably within 25 yards of each other, but it's just really cool that we were both doing different things in different areas, and both were getting incredible reactions and interactions from spirits. You know, his rod is moving a lot whenever he's asking spirits to move it. My pendulum was going crazy, and my rod was as well, so it's really cool to me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to send it back.
So we finished up down here, and we decided our next move was going to be to go upstairs to the children's room. However, while watching back the footage as we were packing up and getting ready to move on, I noticed something really cool happen here on our static cam. Now, you'll notice that as Megan and I walk by, I do touch the chair a little bit and it rocks a little bit, but then it stops. What's really cool here is, I'll cut to it in a moment, is the chair actually starts rocking on its own. It does one big rock without anyone touching it. So I know it doesn't rock for long, just kind of one big rock, a little rock, and then it's done. And unfortunately, didn't get to see it happen live in the moment, but I just thought this was really cool going back through and watching the footage to see the chair kind of do a couple movements on its own as we're packing up. If you're allowed to put them away first. Right hand for yes, left hand for no.
Okay, so this is my right hand. This is my left hand. Please tell me, can I put these away?
It's not a dirty trick. Is Alex allowed to leave this room? Yes or no? Is Alex allowed to go upstairs with me?
Right was yes, right?
Yeah.
I'd say that yes, I'm allowed.
So we grab our stuff, we pack up what we can, and we get going upstairs. Alex leaves the SLS camera running as he packs up, and he carries it upstairs while it's running too. Now, for the most part, nothing wild happens, but once we get up the top of the stairs, the camera starts acting a little funny. It catches some interesting things. So again, like just kind of paying attention to the mapping here. It's not really mapping anything until a person starts to show up on the camera. Those I'm just going to discount since the camera's in motion. Could be mapping the door. I'm not really sure. Slowing down didn't help, but here are the staircase that we take to get upstairs. Beautiful staircase, by the way. Gorgeous woodwork, but let's see what happens.
You want to go first or me? I guess me. I don't like that it's picking up that doll.
I love that we captured something with the SLS here because it was just previously mapped on the doll. Alex pans to the left, he comes back, and then we get this figure just going bonkers on the camera here before it completely disappears, shrinks down, goes away, and then the mapping goes back towards the doll like it was normally. Right there. So it's really, really amazing that we captured this figure doing whatever it is. Looks like it's trying to get Alex's attention, trying to interact with him, maybe trying to interact with the doll. It could be the spirit that was playing with the rod or the pendulum downstairs, still trying to do something. I don't know which spirit it is or what they were trying to do, but it's really cool to see them on the SLS camera like this. Thank you, everyone, for checking out part 2 of the Graestone Manor. It was a lot of fun there. I really loved putting this episode together. I saw a lot of things that I didn't know happened while we were there. So it was really cool to go back and be able to see all that. Make sure to come back next time for part 3 of the Graestone Manor as we check out the children's room upstairs, which was another really fun time. So again, thank you to our sponsors and producers, Steve and Debbie Huzar and Tammy McIntyre. They helped make this episode possible. If you want to be a sponsor or producer on a future episode, let me know and we can talk about it. Until next time, though, stay in the light.